Welcome to Jane Unchained, featuring best-selling author, TV journalist, and JaneUnchained.com founder, Jane Velez Mitchell. In the next few minutes, you'll hear a secret solution to the problems that plague our world. If you want to revolutionize your life, get truly joyful, and jump to the next phase of human evolution, all it takes is one simple choice. Now, here's your host, Jane Velez Mitchell.
I am so honored to have today Dr. Josh Cullimore, who originally hails from across the pond. He is working with Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine. We are kicking off the new year with an incredible plant-based oomph. New York City's Mayor Eric Adams, who is vegan, just inaugurated, was on Morning Joe today, urging people to try plant-based. You are also urging people to try plant-based. Tell us what you would say to anyone watching who wants to make this a year of transformation for themselves. Dr. Cullimore.
Thank you so much, Jane. Thanks for inviting me on. So you're exactly right. This is the beginning of a new year, and we really want to encourage people to get healthy, fit, and deal with all those niggling health problems or prevent any chronic problems such as heart disease, diabetes, cancers from developing in the future, just with changing nutrition. Nutrition makes such a powerful difference to our health, and it's something that's really neglected. So we're here to really to spread that message and help people transition to a healthier diet.
And you have a program called One Healthy World that apparently is just 6 sessions, which I think is fantastic. Now, of course, we love Veganuary and everybody is like, wow, let's do that. This dovetails with that because sometimes people are afraid to make a long-term commitment. But in this case, it's simply 6 sessions. How do people get involved with One Healthy World? And apparently, I understand it's 100% free.
Yeah, completely free. Like you say, 6 free sessions. You just go to the PCRM website. It's pcrm.org/One Healthy World. And like you say, there are 6 sessions. They're about an hour long. You can either watch them live. They're starting we've got 5 different programs in English, French, Spanish, Mandarin, and in English, but for an Indian audience. And that's the first time we've ever done something on this scale. So we're really, really excited to reach across the world and help as many people as possible. And like you say, a long-term commitment can be a bit scary, but this is just a way of finding out more and making some simple changes.
Do you see, you have sort of a global perspective because you are from England, but you're here in Washington, D.C. I'm in L.A. You're with Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, which combines the expertise of more than 17,000 physicians who advocate for a plant-based diet. Now, they are educating other doctors about nutrition. You're a doctor. One of the big complaints is that doctors don't know a lot about nutrition. They are taught to manage diseases that have already occurred. A plant-based diet is all about let's prevent that disease from happening in the first place, but it doesn't get a lot of publicity because, frankly, you can't make money off a disease that never happened. And this is the big problem. If you watch television today, every other commercial is either a fast food commercial or a commercial to manage the problems, the health problems that come with the standard American diet, also known as the SAD diet. So what are we doing to wake doctors up? Because we're still at a point where you can go into a doctor's office with a sprained thumb and they're going to try to tell you it's because you're vegan.
Yeah, you've hit the nail on the head there. You're completely right. And that's one of the main pillars of what PCRM does, is trying to reach out and educate doctors and medical students about nutrition and trying to get more nutrition onto the medical school curriculum. Because like you say, it's only about 5 hours is the average, is the 5 hours of nutrition training for the average medical student. And the Eat Lancet report just a couple of years ago said that actually poor diet is the number one contribution to disease these days. So we've really got a lot of work to do. And, we're really excited to actually meet lots of doctors and have that opportunity. And lots of doctors are just really shocked when they find out about the impact of nutrition, because it was something they were never taught.
Yeah. And what's really interesting is that I think we are entering a new era. There are so many plant-based products that are hitting the market. You have major celebrities like Billie Eilish turning the Met Gala vegan. You have people calling out COP26, the so-called environmental conference, for serving ham and cheese sandwiches. Even the Washington Post, which is no vegan publication, did an article saying, well, since you put the carbon footprint of every meal on the menu, and the ham sandwich was so much higher than the tofu salad, why did you serve the ham sandwich? An obvious question. So putting that climate and carbon sort of price tag on every menu item at the environmental conference really exposed the hypocrisy of even serving animal products at a climate conference. Do you see that 2022 could be the year we hit the tipping point where there's a general acknowledgement that we all need to start eating plant-based, if not all magically going vegan overnight, but that institutions, corporations, individuals, and governments need to start focusing, as the new mayor of New York City has urged, on healthy plant-based meals?
Yeah, you're completely right. And I really hope so. The evidence is very clear on that. A vegan diet is actually the best thing you can do for your environmental footprint. But yes, it's just getting that widespread acceptance by institutions, governments. And so we're working on that. We'll be covering that in the One Healthy World program as well, definitely looking at the environmental impact of our diets. But yes, the complete hypocrisy at the COP26. And yes, we can only do our best to try and turn that around.
Well, what is your program? It's called One Healthy World. In the past, we've done the 21-day Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, a vegan kickstart. In fact, on our Unchained TV, which is our new app that I urge everybody to download right here, Unchained TV, one word, you can get it right on your phone. In fact, I can show it to you right here. What we do is we put videos, there we go, right there. We put videos up, and we do have the 21-day vegan kickstart up there that we did back in 2020 or 2019, and it was fabulous. But now you've transitioned to One Healthy World, which is just six 1-hour sessions that will transform your life. Who are you aiming for? And how are you getting the word out that this is free, that you can just go to the website that you mentioned? It's also linked in the intro to this. And you can just sort of enter this portal where you come out the other side healthier. And if you need to lose weight, if you want to have more energy, if you want to prevent disease, and who doesn't, if you want to live longer, my gosh, it's such a win, 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 win. And yet sometimes we still have trouble convincing people to give this a shot. Yeah.
And so we'll be covering a bit of the reasons why to go vegan, like you say, or the weight loss and the improved skin and improved energy and reduced risks of chronic disease. But I think a lot of people do actually know the benefits, but the difficulty, the stumbling block is actually doing it. So we're going to be looking at how to meal plan, how to eat vegan when you go out to restaurants or when you're traveling in a hotel, dealing with questions from friends and family, and recipes you could suggest or actually make yourself if you were going along to someone's house for dinner. just looking at those key stumbling blocks, because it seems such a difficult thing to do for some people at the beginning. And then after a few weeks, they wonder really, what they were worried about. So it's just really to help people with that transition. Like I say, completely free. And the 27-day, 8-day Kickstart app is great, but that's really for you to use on your own at home. Whereas this is a worldwide collaborative event where we're having talks from experts like our president, Dr. Neil Bernard. We're having experts from physicians, public health professionals, UK, and Doctors for Nutrition in Australia. And we've got some great speakers from Asia and Africa for the English program as well. So we're really covering the whole world and lots of different recipes. So if some people may not like tofu, for example, we can show you how to make tofu delicious, and we can also show you other foods which may be more to your taste.
We've got Lindsay on hold. Lindsay, your question or thought for Dr. Cullimore of Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine.
Hi there, doctor. I wanted to ask you a question regarding answering questions or comments. I post a lot about, I'm a content creator. I post a lot about veganism on social media. And this woman demonstrated an interest, and she said she was going to try and go vegan. I did refer her to Physicians Committee website, Responsible Medicine website, et cetera, and some other sites. She never responded, but then a month later, she said she sent me on social media a video saying, she went to emergency because she has some underlying health problems. She has stenosis, and she's in a wheelchair. But she said that the doctor in the urgent care, she went to urgent care because she couldn't get into emergency, told her that it was the vegan diet that was making her deathly ill, and that there were, some crazy thing. And I really wanted to respond. I haven't responded yet because I really wanted to collect my thoughts before I respond. I don't want to get, obviously, into any kind of legal situation, giving medical advice or anything like that. But I think this program is a great thing this type of program is a great thing to have as a tool to give to people. But could you give me a general kind of statement of how I could answer that kind of response, if you would?
Thank you. And I'm
great question.
It's a great question. And I'm sorry that she's had that terrible, frustrating experience. And I've heard that from several other patients, unfortunately. And like you say, it's difficult to really give specifics about particular people's conditions, but I would really urge her and her doctors to look at our website and actually look at the information about heart disease or whatever her condition is, and actually just find some specifics about their concerns. Is it that they're worried about a particular nutrient deficiency? Because actually vegans are not deficient in any nutrient as long as they're taking a B12 supplement and eating a varied diet. In fact, in my experience, vegans have a lot less nutrient deficiencies because they tend to think a bit more about what they're eating and are more health conscious. I just really want to know the specifics of what the doctors were concerned about.
But I think that overall, the point that Lindsay's making is there's a tremendous prejudice amongst doctors. As I mentioned, I could go in with a sprained finger, and sometimes a doctor who's actually quite overweight himself will try to turn it into the fact that I'm vegan. I think we've all had those experiences. So what I love about PCRM, Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, is it's doctors educating other doctors, and it's grown. I mean, it wasn't 17,000 physicians. It's now grown. What can we do to counteract basically the prejudice amongst doctors who do not get nutrition information. They're just conditioned like the rest of society, where basically they're just spouting almost advertising marketing points. Remember, it wasn't so long ago that doctors were touting cigarettes and doing commercials where they said, go ahead and smoke, and they were wearing white coats. So we know that doctors can be influenced by advertising, marketing campaigns, lobbyists. The pharmaceutical industry is a huge lobby. And when you're in a hospital and you see people walking around with those little suitcases, they're carrying drug samples quite often. So what does PCRM do that I think is so powerful to wake these doctors up? Because we're in a health crisis. 2/3 of Americans are overweight or obese. We have kids developing type 2 diabetes. Cancer. We know processed meat, for example, is cancer causing. Doctors rarely mention that to patients. We know that heart disease is, pandemic aside, the leading killer. 1 out of every 4 people dies of heart disease. Heart disease is generally, unless you've got a genetic predisposition, generally caused by your arteries getting clogged with plaque. Plaque comes from cholesterol. There's no cholesterol in any vegan product. You can go up and down the supermarket aisle because animals produce cholesterol. And so yet all of these this is not, quantum physics. This is pretty basic information. And yet they seem just as much in denial as the general population, if not more.
Yeah, when I worked on a bowel cancer ward, we do amazing work doing the surgery and removing the cancer. And then afterwards, we would give them a lunch of sausage and chips, processed meat, which is known to cause bowel cancer. So it really is completely crazy. And that's why this is one of the areas we really focus on at the Physicians Committee. We do regular outreach, going to grand rounds. They're the big meetings for doctors in hospitals, where we give them presentations and answer any of their questions they may have about this. Because it really is just a question of education, and so we're hoping in the long term that will really make a big difference. We need to sort of educate the medical students, whilst they're still learning, because it's difficult to undo those habits later on.
We are talking with Dr. Josh Cullimore of Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine. He is the leader of the One Healthy World program, and this is 6 free sessions with some of the top physicians in the world who are plant-based, who basically give you a crash course in how to avoid disease, get more energy, feel healthier, incorporate fruits, vegetables, nuts, and grains into your diet. It's a great time to start. 2022 is here. It's the time for a change. And so this is your opportunity to make a change. Let's listen to this broadcast and see how easy it is to do. And we are going to take a short break on Voice America Radio. We're going to stay alive on Facebook.
Be sure to friend us on Facebook. You can do it right now. Visit facebook.com/Voice America or search for us at keyword Voice America.
Become a member of VoiceAmerica.com. It's easy, and best of all, it's free. Start out by going to our homepage or any of our channels and click register at the top. Once you've created an account and signed in, you can create your own custom library, opt into our newsletter, search by show, host, guest, or topic of interest, or browse millions of hours of content across all of our Voice America radio channels. Membership gets you more. Visit VoiceAmerica.com today to get started and tailor the listening experience to your taste.
Get Unchained. Tune in every Monday for Jane Unchained on the Voice America Influencers channel, featuring nationally recognized best-selling author, TV journalist, and social media influencer Jane Velez Mitchell. This program takes you inside a trending lifestyle that's the next wave of human evolution. It all starts on your plate. If you want to revolutionize your life, get happier, more energized, then discover the secret. Tune in to Jane Unchained Mondays at 10 a.m. Pacific Time and 1 p.m. Eastern Time on the Voice America Influencers channel.
Tune in to the Tony D'Urso Show with key influencers for entertaining and thought-provoking weekly discussions with some of the top stars in their fields. From business, sports, and science to entertainment, music, and literature, Tony's guests share their success and give their wisdom. If you're looking to manifest your vision and see how others have done so, be sure to listen to the Tony D'Urso Show every Friday at 2 p.m. Pacific Time, 5 p.m. Eastern Time on the Voice America Influencers Channel.
You are listening to Jane Unchained. To reach the show today, call in to 1-866-472-5795. That's 1-866-472-5795. You may also send an email in to janeunchainednews@gmail.com. Now back to the show.
We are live with Dr. Josh Cullimore of Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, and he is the head of the One Healthy World program kicking off in 2022. It's a great moment to revolutionize your health, transform your life, and also a plant-based diet is better for the environment. It has a much lower carbon footprint, uses a lot less water, and obviously it's better for the animals as well. So Dr. Cullimore, break it down for us. There are 6-hour lectures that people can access 100% for free. What are they?
Yes, thank you. So, like you say, completely free. And the first class is an introduction with Dr. Bernard and some other experts about why we should change our eating habits and how to do it. The second class is some more detail about delicious meal planning. The third session is about eating out, best type of restaurants to go to and what to ask for if it's a non-vegan restaurant. The fourth class is some more information about great food ideas. And the fifth class is focused on travel, what to do if you're in a hotel or airplane. And class 6 is a bit more detail about health surprises. So things that people don't often think about with plant-based nutrition. So the benefits for hormonal health, brain health, and even COVID-19.
Let me ask you this. So many people are struggling with diabetes. You have young kids getting type 2 diabetes. We live in a world where Fast Food Nation, in fact, I wrote a book called Fast Food Nation. Kids are inundated with this really unhealthy, meat and dairy laden, sugar laden food. What is the connection in simple terms between a plant-based diet and staying away from type 2 diabetes or managing it better than traditional alternatives?
Yeah, that's a great question. Even as I speak to are confused about this. And the fact is that it's the saturated fat in the diet that causes insulin resistance, which means the insulin molecules don't work properly so that your cells aren't able to take sugar into the cell. So it rises in the bloodstream. Basically, the saturated fat is like gum in a lock, which locks up the insulin receptor. And saturated fat is predominantly found in animal foods. Dairy products is the number one cause of saturated fat in the US diet. So if you're eating a plant-based diet, your saturated fat, if you make sure you avoid things like coconut oil, but otherwise a plant-based diet is incredibly low in saturated fat. And that is the reason why it's so beneficial for diabetes, type 2 diabetes, and lots of other chronic conditions as well, like heart disease and strokes.
We've got another caller. Tom, your question or thought for Dr. Cullimore.
Oh, hi, Jane. Hi, Dr. Cullimore. My question or thought was that it seems like with obesity and heart disease and health-related issues due to dietary matters, it seems like people don't take their own responsibility, make their own food. They basically outsource their dietary needs. They might eat fast foods 3, 4, 5 times a week. It's trying to convince those people how to eat healthy, how to eat a plant-based diet, and what the best optimal health for themselves and the planet is. And if people are going to listen, that's great, but it's the ones that don't want to listen that you try to convince about things like that. What would you suggest for such things? Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you. Yeah, so this is why we're really focusing this program on people who are concerned about their health, because I think people are often just confused about what is the best thing to do. There's a lot of misinformation out there, often promoted by lobbyists for the animal agriculture industry. So we're here just to set the record straight. It's difficult. We live in an environment that really does push unhealthy fast food on all of us. And it does take, some knowledge and ability to be able to resist that and either cook your own meals or, people are often very stressed and don't have much time. So we're going to be directing people to healthier, quick, easy meals, or even places that they can buy quick food that is much healthier than what people usually eat.
One of the real myths that we have to disrupt is that vegetables don't taste good, that it's boring. And that, I think, is the key, because being a vegan is not just eating vegan pastries. It's eating vegetables. It's eating beans. It's eating quinoa, brown rice, and nuts and legumes. And we have to really show people how delicious that is. I'm not coming from up here. I have the worst instincts. I love sweets, but I have actually been bringing in from Farm Fresh to You every Monday night a whole bunch box of vegetables and cooking them. And when they're there, I cook them. When they're not there, I have a tendency to make bad choices. So that just sort of happened accidentally due to me being at home. And I started ordering these vegetables, and voila, I found out that even my own limited cooking skills, I can make some really delicious meals.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's really, like you say, setting yourself up for success. So not having those unhealthy foods in the house as temptation. And after a few weeks, your taste buds really do adapt. So fruit starts to seem incredibly sweet once you cut out the sugar and the candy. And the same with salt as well. So, and meat and cheese. Cheese is known to have opiate-like chemicals in it, casein morphines. So people, when they struggle with cheese, it's because of these opiates and the fat and the salt, and it does take a few weeks to get out of the habit. So that's the benefit of the 21-day kickstart, is it really just gives people that break from their usual diet.
Well, there's a reason why rehab is at least 28 days long, because it takes at least 28 days, sometimes longer, to restore your taste buds and your body to its factory settings. We've got Paige on the line. Paige, your question or thought for Dr. Tom Cullimore of PCRM.
Yes. Hello. Good morning. My understanding is you also have several thousands of chefs around the world that are creating these plant-based recipes that are certified with the Food for Life program. Is that correct?
Yes, that's completely right. We have this Food for Life program with lots of incredibly talented, enthusiastic chefs that actually go out and either in person or on Zoom teach people how to actually cook plant-based meals. Because like you say, actually it's the how to do it that can be the real issue. And once people have tried and got their confidence, they're much more excited to continue with that. So in our One Healthy World program, we will be featuring a lot of our international Food for Life instructors and some new people to us as well. There's an amazing chef called Chef Kola, who has trained the chefs for the International Anti-Poaching Foundation in Zimbabwe. They're a female anti-poaching squad who are all vegan. So yeah, it's going to be really exciting to hear voices and recipes from all over.
And guess what? Speaking of Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine Food for Life instructors, we have Tracy Childs. Tracy Childs is a Food for Life instructor, and she has taken that and run with it. She has an incredible line of wonderful, healthy, sugar-free, baked goods. Tracy, thanks for joining us. What's your question or thought for Dr. Cullimore?
Hey, hi, Jane, and thank you so much for featuring the PCRM today.
I'm a huge fan of the Physicians Committee. Been a member since like 1985 or something when they started. And yeah, I'm an instructor since 2005 in my community and beyond, now that we can do things online. And I just wanted to just say this is a great program. I'm really a huge fan. I think it's a great idea because, frankly, you talked about, vegetables and making them taste good. Well, Americans don't really have a great track record, but worldwide, a lot of ethnicities have amazing recipes to share, and that's what the PCRM is good at too, is just sharing amazing recipes and ways to make things taste good. And if it doesn't taste good, people aren't going to do it. So that's what I love about the Food for Life program, where we teach people, get into people's communities and teach people how to, make the healthy food taste good.
Yeah. So explain a little bit about the Food for Life instructors. I know you have 17,000 physicians that are part of PCRM. Dr. Cullimore, how many Food for Life instructors? Because that's another thing PCRM does, is trains people like Tracy who then go out and create vegan companies, share their vegan food, not just at potlucks, but through a whole variety of maybe starting restaurants. Tell us about that, the Food for Life instructor program.
Yeah, it's an amazing program that's just getting bigger all the time. We've managed to help educate over 1 million people since it first started over a decade ago. And we're having instructors like Tracy doing a fantastic job. All over America, but all over the world, including the UK, where I'm from, Australia, Asia. And the great thing about that is it can really be tailored to the local diet and the kind of foods that people are used to. But we can also give ideas from other parts of the world. Like you say, Jane, actually, lots of the delicious vegan foods come from other places, and we want to use that knowledge.
Tell us your story. How did you go plant-based and end up doing this, leading the One Healthy World plant-based program?
Yeah, so I'm a GP, a general practitioner from the UK. I studied in Bristol in the West Country. I wasn't quite sure which specialty I wanted to go down. And I started to feel a bit disillusioned, like I say, when we were doing this great surgery on patients, doing coronary artery bypass grafts, and then giving them terrible food, and just realizing how much prevention of disease is so important, and yet there's very little money to be made in that. So and also it's difficult for people to make lifestyle changes. So I went and did a master's in public health to learn more about that, and then I've always been very interested in plant-based diets, and actually went vegan 12 years ago for all of the reasons that people are vegan, so health, the environment, and animal welfare. And it's so great that whatever you care about, plant-based diets are really the answer to that. And I've noticed health benefits myself. Like I say, I just feel better, more energy in the gym, able to put on more muscle. My migraines have gone after cutting out the dairy, which was fantastic. Acne as well, I had quite badly into my 20s, and my skin just completely cleared up. So and with my patients as well, I've just seen amazing transformations, like Eric Adams with his type 2 diabetes. I've just seen that with diabetes, heart disease, strokes. It's just so rewarding when you actually see the outcomes.
Yes. And what I was going to say was other doctors. So you deal with other doctors, not just the ones who work with Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine. What was the reaction from other doctors when you went vegan and you started saying, wow, look at all these benefits and look at all the problems associated with a meat and dairy laden diet?
Yeah. I was actually, I did it quite gradually because I was worried about the reactions of my colleagues. And again, I'd had very little training in nutrition myself. So I was worried about things like protein and iron. But then actually when I read the facts and did my own research, I found out that those fears were misplaced. And occasionally other colleagues would raise questions, but they would quickly realize that I actually knew a lot more about nutrition than they did. So I would send them the papers and they actually, most doctors will follow the science. They just need to be pointed in the right direction. And I've definitely noticed in the last 5 years, much more acceptance and interest from other doctors. So the tide is definitely turning, which is great, but there's still a lot of work that we need to do.
When are we going to hit the tipping point? I mean, we have a very sick society. Our healthcare costs in the Western world, United States and Europe, are sky high. People, taxpayers, are forced to subsidize these stent operations, which are super expensive. We could reduce our healthcare costs and reduce our taxes and be healthier and have healthier kids. This is the message that New York City's new mayor, Eric Adams, is pounding out. And he himself was very ill. He went plant-based, and now he's a strapping, high-energy, super buffed, ripped guy. And he has hit the ground running, advocating for plant-based as the new mayor of New York City, arguably right up there with London, the most important city in the world. Let's throw LA in there too, and Washington, D.C., and a few others. But obviously the mayor of New York setting the tone and saying, I want these school kids to get healthy meals. Kids are often almost always forced. They put dairy milk right in front of them. What can we do to use this breakthrough moment of New York City's mayor being vegan and promoting it, not keeping it a secret, but actually talking about it on national television? What can we do to capitalize on that? And is that a breakthrough for the plant-based movement?
Yeah, I think it definitely is. And it's just so fantastic to see his journey and his story, and that he was really inspired by, our president down that journey. He's done a lot of work with us at PCRM. We really want to use this opportunity. We're really, like you say, very, very concerned about those the rules that schools have to give out dairy. Those dietary guidelines were designed for white people, and yet 90% of Asian people and 70% of Black people are lactose intolerant. So those guidelines are, are really quite biased. So many issues, but I think this really could be a turning point, and I'm excited to be here at this time.
We are talking to Dr. Josh Cullimore of Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine. We're going to take a short break on Voice America Radio, but we'll be back.
Now you don't have to stay linked to your desktop or laptop. Take Voice America on the go and listen anywhere. Get our mobile app for iPhone, BlackBerry, or Android at the Apple iTunes App Store, BlackBerry App World, or Android Market.
Sustainable success is just around the corner. If you are an entrepreneur, business leader, or anybody looking for their next level of success, tune into Sustainable Success with host Chris Salem. Did you know that the path to success is a long path that started many years ago? The path you started on then determines what is happening now. Chris and his amazing guests in their field will help you navigate the path to sustainable success every Thursday at 12 noon Eastern Time and 9 a.m. Pacific on the Voice America Influencers channel. It's time to unlock some of the best-kept secrets in health, wealth, and happiness. Are you ready to live your life to the fullest and hear insider tips from today's experts? Then tune in to The Forbes Factor with celebrity TV host and inspirational icon, Forbes Riley. She's a best-selling author and TV fitness expert, and you know her from QVC and HSN. Now she brings her expert advice and guests to the Voice America Influencers channel. Tune in live every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific Time and 2 p.m. Eastern Time for The Forbes Factor. We guarantee Guaranteed, it will be the best hour of your week.
We don't follow, we lead. Join us, the Voice America Influencers Channel.
You are listening to Jane Unchained. To reach the show today, call in to 1-866-472-5795. That's 1-866-472-5795. You may also send an email in to janeunchainednews@gmail.com. Now back to the show.
We are so excited to have Dr. Josh Cullimore of Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine with us today. One Healthy World is their 2022 program, 6 lectures and videos that are life-changing. They're free. You can get them. Urge other people who are interested in getting healthy to sign up. Apparently, you're also going to show movies as part of this. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's right. We're going to be doing a screening of The Game Changers, the fantastic movie by James Cameron, and featuring people like Arnold Schwarzenegger, talking about plant-based athletes, because that is something that is often a concern for people. And particularly in January, it's the time when people hit the gym and want to lose weight and get fit. And there's a lot of misconceptions about diet out there. The idea that you have to eat meat to get protein, or that the protein is better. In fact, the evidence is actually the opposite. And meat and animal products are pro-inflammatory. So they cause inflammation in the body, which delays recovery time. And, athletes, when they go plant-based, they really do notice a tremendous improvement in their recovery time and their endurance and performance. We're going to do a screening and get some of the athletes from the documentary to do a Q&A as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's really, really exciting.
Let's talk a little bit about how when arteries are clogged, people talk about heart attacks, the leading killer. What's happening now aside, heart attacks have long been the leading killer, killing approximately 1 out of every 4 people. That's arteries to the heart getting clogged with plaque. Plaque comes from cholesterol. Correct me if I'm wrong, if I've gotten any of this wrong. But what I also am increasingly understanding is that it's systemic. When the cholesterol is clogging the vessels in your body, it's clogging all the vessels, not just the vessel to the heart. And there are other illnesses that are precursors of heart disease. Can you address that? Because so many people are suffering, and yet they feel that there's nothing they can do, when indeed there is something they can do.
Yeah, definitely. And that's why it's such an empowering message that you can take your life back into your own hands. And yeah, like you say, that the heart gets clogged up, but also the blood vessels to the brain, which can cause a stroke, the blood vessels to the legs, which causes painful legs when people are walking, and even the blood vessels in the penis, which is why erectile dysfunction is seen as a precursor to heart disease. So that's why people will notice so many benefits from reducing that furring up, the clogging up of the arteries.
And I do have to say on that note, if you look at mainstream television, advertiser-based television, it really is stunning to me how it's so often, with the exception of a few insurance commercials, meat products, fast food, and then the pharmaceuticals. And the pharmaceuticals for erectile dysfunction, the pharmaceuticals for high cholesterol. These are multi-billion-dollar industries. And also now there's commercials like, are you feeling less sharp mentally? Well, take this pill. First of all, aren't doctors supposed to tell you what's wrong with you after examining you? You're not supposed to go to a doctor like a drug pusher and say, give me this pill, give me that pill. What can we do about this? Because it's becoming more prevalent. And it seems almost like they're trying to get people to identify with their illness. Like, I have this, I have this, I have to take this shot, I have to take this patch. Almost like trying to create an identity of disease.
Yeah, that's very well put, and something that I was quite shocked about when I got to the US, because it's not as bad in the UK. But yes, it's it's really shocking that just advertising is encouraging people to go to their doctors and get more drugs rather than actually looking at the root cause of why they're sick in the first place. There's a great documentary that came out recently called They're Trying to Kill Us, which focuses on the African American community particularly. But they make the really good point that food and drugs are put together in the same administration, the FDA, and there really is this sort of symbiotic toxic relationship there, that they sell you toxic food, then try and sell you a toxic cure, and then give you a toxic cure of the side effects of the original drug. Definitely not against all medicine. There's definitely a place for them, but they are used far too much and touted as a cure for everything. Without really encouraging people to look at why they're getting sick. And it's actually a really reassuring message that people can change things just with their daily life, and particularly their diet.
We are talking to Dr. Josh Cullimore of Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, which is an organization that reflects 17,000 physicians and growing fast, talking about the benefits of a plant-based diet. And nobody here is suggesting that there's no place for traditional medicine. I go to a doctor. I, for the most part, listen to the doctor. This is really a societal issue. We can't make money off a disease that never occurred. And if you look at what you said, the Food and Drug Administration has this symbiotic relationship. The same thing is with the U.S. Department of Agriculture. These industries have infiltrated these government agencies. The USDA right now is run by a former dairy trade group leader, Tom Vilsack, and he also served in the Obama administration. So why are we going to look to a dairy industry trade leader to tell us, hey, let's eat some plant-based food when the dairy industry is the antithesis of the plant-based food industry? And so we have to start as individuals, as citizens, as taxpayers, thinking critically. Doctor.
Completely. And we have a new legislation expert at PCRM, Andrew Bonovi, who is fantastic and really up to date on all of this. Because you're right, there's so many different angles we need to approach here. But it really does come from the top. The environment that is set for people makes such a difference. It is empowering that people can change their behavior, but we lead busy, stressful lives, and it's difficult sometimes to resist the policies that are imposed from above.
So how many people have signed up for One Healthy World? What's your game plan there?
Well, it's growing by the day, so I'm not sure I can give you the most up-to-date figures. And we have noticed that the figures for the programs we've not offered before in the languages we've not offered have been particularly high. So French and Mandarin have had very high. We're in the thousands already after only a week or so. So we're really excited, and we just want. If you're vegan, then, please come and join, and there's always more to learn. But also, we really want you to reach out to your family and friends, people who are sick, or, they have these chronic conditions, or they just want to feel better, and just say, look, there is a solution here, and just give it a try. You may have some doubts or skepticism, but just give it a try. Like you say, it's just 6 hours of your time. Some really educational, entertaining, informative speakers, and I promise you will be very, very pleasantly surprised about the results that you see.
We are talking to Josh Cullimore, doctor, who is with Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine and leading the charge with One Healthy World, which kicks off at the start of 2022. So, if people want to get involved with this, they literally just go to pcrm.org, or how do they get involved? How do they sign up?
That's right. Just go to our website, pcrm.org, and then /One Healthy World, or it's under the events page. Just put in your details and we'll sign you up. And then you get email reminders about it, and you'll get access to the website where you can watch the videos live or recorded later when it's more convenient. And you can also download the 21-day Kickstart app if you want that to get started straight away. You've got loads of great recipes on there as well.
So we only have a couple of minutes. When it comes to the future, obviously I'm a big fan of PCRMs and I've followed them for years. It's truly extraordinary because obviously when it comes to medicine, doctors to a great degree, along with the government and the doctors in the government, set the tone. And so medical universities, teaching hospitals, what impact are you having there?
Yeah, we're getting a really positive reception, which is really exciting to see, particularly from medical students. They're much more open to learning about nutrition. We're having a great reception. I've got a colleague, Dr. Sarai Stancic. She's the medical director of education, and she spends a lot of her time traveling around the country giving these lectures and presentations, and get some really great feedback. People that have messaged her afterwards to say they've been able to make changes in their hospitals, getting more plant-based foods on the menu, being able to encourage their colleagues to talk about diet and recommend plant-based nutrition. So she's doing a great job, and it definitely feels like it's an exciting time.
Well, we only have a couple of minutes, but you raise an important point. Here in California, a law was passed, and social compassion legislation worked with Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine and teamed up to pass a law that says that plant-based options, substantial plant-based options, have to be offered to people who go into a hospital. If you've got a broken leg and you're a vegan, you can't be told no, you've got to eat something else. And yet it seems like a lot of the hospitals here in California are not aware of it or just ignoring the law. What can we do about that?
Yeah, you're right. It's one thing getting the law, and then the enforcement and making sure people are following it is another. So we always want to hear about these experiences of people having difficulty getting vegan food. Please do let us know, and we can put that pressure on. We're doing regular outreach to try and get feedback from staff and patients to make sure that they're getting the options that they deserve and legally are warranted.
First of all, I'd love to see this spread to the rest of the country, where every person, if they go to a hospital, they have to be given not just like a slice of lettuce and a piece of white bread, but a substantial vegan meal. But I know that there has been pushback. I had a friend who broke her leg, and she complained that they said that, there was just no way they could do it. And even though it's the law, I would love to see a campaign that informs these hospitals because a lot of them, even the nutritionists at the hospitals, are ignorant of the law or in denial or ignoring the law. I think it would really, really be important to do some kind of a campaign where all of these hospitals are informed and actually given the law, because a lot of people have said, well, I hear there's this law, but I don't know the name of it. I don't know the number of it. I can't prove it. And I know social compassion legislation has the law there up on their website because they got it passed along with PCRM working together. I would love to see a campaign where the hospitals really are put on notice that they've got to follow this.
Yeah. Thank you for that. That's it's sad to hear that it's despite that win, there's still that difficulty. We will definitely look into that and try and get the hospitals to follow the law. Because as you say, it's just not acceptable, really.
Well, this is what PCRM is so good at doing, is changing the culture. You guys and gals, doctors, nurses, nutritionists with Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, Food for Life instructors, you are changing the culture. And you're doing it from the top down and the bottom up, which is really important. You're helping people who are just wanting to feel healthier, but you're also going to medical institutions. So you do so much. We don't want to put more on your plate, but there's so much to do, I just think what you're doing is absolutely fantastic. I urge everybody, if you're vegan, let that neighbor of yours who is complaining about the fact that they can't walk up a flight of stairs, let them know about this. One Healthy World. Just go to pcrm.org/One Healthy World.
That's right.
And that's it. Or just go to pcrm.org and poke around. You will find One Healthy World. pcrm.org. 4 letters that will change your life. This is the best holiday gift, the best New Year's gift you can give anybody. I want to thank Dr. Cullen Moore for taking the time. He is a very busy man. We appreciate you taking the time to be here on Unchained TV with us today.
Oh, no, thank you so much, Jane, for the invite. It's been so good to talk to you.
All right. And again, pcrm.org, an incredible organization.
Thank you for tuning in to Jane Unchained. We hope you'll join Jane Velez Mitchell for the next edition of her program next Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time and 10 a.m. Pacific Time on the Voice America Influencers channel. Meanwhile, have a peaceful week.